Okay, so this 2022 season is going to look completely different, with an all-new formula when it comes to chassis and aero. But today we are here to talk about the liveries, all of those unveiled in the past few weeks. I'll give you my opinions on the designs in the order of the original release, while giving their final position on my personal ranking from the one I like the most to the one I like the least. They will show up on that list over there. Unlike last season, this one has brought color back to the grid, and I couldn't be happier. The standard for designs has also gotten higher, so while I'll have to rate deliveries from last to first, I really don't hate any. I'll just like some more and some less. So without further ado, let's get to deliveries. The first launch we had was that of Haas, and yes, I know what you're thinking. I have a very firm stance when it comes to the war than that of supporting the defenders. And this livery stood for everything we don't want to see in the world. Luckily, it was changed, with more announcements to come shortly. The new and improved livery is one of the best and shows how less is actually more. The matte white car with the black contrast was a last-second decision, but I gotta say it looks great. And the red Haas logo is the real and only standout piece of this livery. Of course, it's the most plain of them all, but I really do like it. Let's hope we actually see the cars on track this year. Solid mid-pack rating for this one, 5th from the 10. Originally, I was quite excited for the Red Bull launch. I actually thought the design was going to be a different one. But oh well, it still looks good. I don't know about you, but this livery fits the 2022 car much better than the last gen cars, or at least it looks that way because the new formula is just that good. The matte blue accentuates the curves of the new bodywork, and the yellow mixes up great to be the secondary contrasting color with the details of red, from the Red Bull to the accent on the rims. Yes, it's the same livery, but I gotta say it looks fantastic and aggressive. The number one looks bad though. A mangled brick with a straw coming off the top certainly wasn't what Max envisioned, I'm sure, but it's still fully deserved. The nose cone is definitely my favorite part of this livery. What we are missing is the Red Bull logo. Being replaced by the Oracle one inevitably adds more white as a second detail color as well. Overall, I think it looks fine. This banging livery though is turning 6 this year, and every season it's a bit duller, with competition getting better. I'll rank this one as 7th. Aston Martin ended up being the third car to come out and is perhaps exactly what the 2021 car should have looked like. This is the car and it is absolutely stunning. Last year I was very disappointed with the use of pink and dull green, but the lime color this season is just what the car needed. The details it brings makes the livery pop and stand out. It outlines the car in the best way possible, and with the new fins we see on the top of the side pod, it makes the thing feel alive and aggressive. It's going to be amazing to see it on track both during the day and at night. It just looks spectacular. I have to say though, too much writing on the car. It kind of detracts from the design and makes it look more like a billboard on wheels rather than a speed machine. More so with a bold contrast between the dark green and the white. Luckily, under the sun, the glare hides it a bit, mixing with the paint reflecting. Beautiful. As many of you might have guessed, this is my favorite one of them all. The McLaren launch was a bit different than the other ones. They revealed 5 liveries for 4 teams. I'm mainly going to focus on the F1 car, but yeah, there were 4 launches all at the same time, sharing a common design language. And let me just say that the car originally looked insane. It looked absolutely amazing when it was revealed, and for those wanting a Golf car, here it is. Last year's car was pretty awful in my opinion, but they started the play on negative space, and this year it's taken to the next level. When I saw the Aston, I thought that was going to be the most beautiful car of the year, but this was gonna be some tough competition. Until we actually saw it on track. Under the sun, the orange is lighter, and the shapes make it look slow. The matte orange is definitely not my favorite. The patchy paintwork works very well with the more geometric look of the car. Unlike the ones revealed before, the McLaren has many straight lines on its design, but at the expense of making the car look stiff or dead. This livery is one of the most detailed ones, with many little bits like the kiwi on the rear wing and the design on the wheel caps. I honestly had low expectations for this one, keeping in mind the 2020 and 2021 designs, and I know this is a divisive livery. I used to love it until it actually hit the track. What a shame, to be honest. This one goes 8th behind the Red Bull. On February 14th we got the new AT03 from AlphaTauri. To be honest, I don't like it much. Out of the 3 cars they have had so far, this is the best one in my opinion, but that doesn't say much when the other 2 were at the bottom of my lists. The design is definitely distinctive, but too busy and contrasty. I think glossy paint would have made the car 1000 times better, but as is, it's just too messy and even dull in my opinion. I just gotta say that I don't like the navy color and the way it curves along the side with some extra lines surrounding it, and the logo ends up all distorted in the front wing and the side pods, with a cramped logo on the engine cover. The colored rims are gone for some reason. That was my overall favorite part of the previous cars, but yeah, the lines are all over the place and the design is just messy. This one is marginally better than some previous ones, but it's still 9 out of 10. Williams revealed their car and once again it looks nothing like the previous year, but it continues with the pattern that we are getting used to seeing. 2019 car, horrid. 2020, best looking one. 2021, horrible, and 2022 is spectacular. For the first time since Aston Martin, this is actually a glossy car, and not only glossy but metallic. The new colorway represents Williams and Britain with the red and blue, and god does it look stunning. This is definitely a car that plays with the light, and I love that. From the different shades of metallic blue that change with the light around the front wing to the engine cover with the triangular design last used by the last glossy McLaren in 2019, also in metallic blue. The red accents are what is confusing in my opinion. I do like the color. It's deserving of a color, but red just clashes too much and it kind of ruins the flow. Nevertheless, this is a car the Williams design team should be proud of. This was my 4th favorite livery. The Ferrari F1 75 was released on my birthday actually, and I think it's the most beautiful Ferrari ever made. No kidding. We first need to talk about the shape. With the contour of the side pods curving inward into the chassis and the new design of the flowing wings, it looks like a concept F1 car, and I absolutely love it. Now, the design. It was leaked to oblivion, but still, when I saw the video of the reveal, I lost it. It's absolutely stunning, and instantly dethroned the Williams for the 2nd best looking car. My favorite Ferrari in recent years had been the 2019 contender, but this one? Oh my god, this one. The deep red, which was used in last year's car, is great for low light, but still retains a pearlescent-like style when it brightens up when the lights shine. And the black that dominates the rear end and much of the side profile is stunning. Details like the yellow accents on the fins are what tops this one off. Much like the Williams, I honestly cannot wait to see this one live on track, my 2nd favorite this year. Mercedes was the next team to release their car, and for the first time since 2019, it's not black. They have abandoned the black and put on the corporate mask again, but what a mask it is. The silver looks great, and this design suits the integration of the Ineos branding much better than they tried doing in 2020. The stars on the back are in between their 2020 and 2021 designs, and yes, it works. The only complaint I can bring to the table are the sponsor text, which has to be black to stand out, but it's still a mess, and the positioning of the rear numbers, making them pretty much invisible. We'll have a hard time telling Russell apart from Hamilton through the season. Still, it's a great looking car and it gets 6th, the spot behind Haas. Next up is Alpine, and we have 2 liveries to analyze here. I'm going to focus on the one they will be using from the 3rd round on, after stating that the pink one is quite horrid. The integration of the pink was done quite great here, I must say. At first glance I wasn't sure what to think, but it's definitely grown on me. The metallic blue is still here, and unfortunately so is the red, which clashes a lot with the BWT pink. Last year's A521 was my favorite car when it came to looks by far. This year it's stepped down a little bit and the top spot is definitely contested. Still, the colors are spot on and the flowing nature of the A522 make it look insane under the sun and in motion. This gets the 3rd spot. So, last but, well, this time last and least is Alfa Romeo. If you have been following the channel for a while, you know I have always loved Alfa's F1 liveries over the years, with last year's being my favorite. This time though, it is definitely not. The Alfa Romeo C42 is one of my least favorite cars this season. While the colors are still fantastic, the implementation is just disastrous. Rivaling last year's AlphaTauri, which was in my opinion the worst managed car when it came to actual design of the livery. From a direct side angle, it's got a 45-degree line that makes absolutely no sense, and from every other angle, that line looks like a wavy mess. Don't get me wrong, the colors are still great, but it just lacks any sense of flow whatsoever, with straight lines cutting the design from the tip of the nose cone to the back of the cockpit, to the absence of black on the decals, and the big Alfa Romeo letter branding. The only part I actively like are the wheel caps and the back of the rear wing. The worst one this season, I'm afraid. So, this is my rating. What did you think of it? Did you agree with all of them, some of them, none of them? Let me know in the comments down below. As always, thank you all for watching, and I will see you all in the next one.